Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about what's going to help you to pass that level 2 ICF exam so you can have those ICF credentials behind your name as a professional coach. My name is Krista Kathleen, and I am the CEO, founder, and director of training of the Born to Coach Training Academy. And we are a level 2 ICF accredited coach training program. So we're really committed to helping coaches to become certified and have those ICF credentials behind their name so they can have more opportunities, more confidence, less imposter syndrome, and just going out into the world and being a high integrity, ethical, and safe practicing coach. So I recently took the new ICF exam, and unfortunately, the first time I took it, I did not pass. So I learned a lot about what works and doesn't work when taking this new updated ICF exam. But I am happy to announce that I retook it a month later and I passed, and I just got my pin in the mail from the ICF. So I now have my MCC credential behind my last name, which stands for Master Certified Coach. It's the highest credential in the world for professional coaches. So I've worked really hard to get this, and it just means a lot having that credential behind my name. And so I always like to ask coaches as they are thinking about enrolling in an ICF accredited coach training program and going for their ICF credential. You don't have to go for your ICF credential. You can stop at being a certified coach if you want. But I always like to ask, what would it mean for you to have an ICF credential behind your name? So go ahead and share that answer below. I would love to hear from you. What would it mean for you to have an ICF credential behind your name? The International Coaching Federation did a study, and in 2023, out of the 9,795 candidates who took the ICF exam, 75% passed on their first attempt, while 87% passed overall, including 12% who succeeded on a subsequent attempt. So in today's video, I'm going to share what actually helps you to pass the ICF exam based on my own experience and what I've seen work for my students and other coaches as well too. Before you can take the ICF exam, you do need to go enroll in an ICF accredited coach training program, a level 1, a level 2, or a level 3. You can only enroll in a level 3 after you've gone through a level 2 program. And then once you graduate, you're going to get your certificate. And then you have to have your coaching hours completed. If you're going for your ACC, you're going to have 100 coaching hours, PCC, 500 coaching hours, and MCC, 2,500 coaching hours. So once you have that certificate, and then once you have your coaching hours completed, you're going to go over to the ICF website and you are going to apply for the appropriate credential that you want to go for. Now, if you enroll in a coach training in an ICF accredited coach training program that's not a level 1 or level 2 or level 3, then it might not have everything you need to be ready to take your ICF exam. A lot of coach training programs don't include the 10 support mentor hours. So if that's something that you need, our school does provide that for you as a separate program that you can do. So that way you can be ready to take your ICF exam. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do to be prepared to pass your ICF exam, you need to review the ICF Code of Ethics and core competencies. And then, based off of which credential you're going to go for, the ACC minimum requirements or the PCC markers or the MCC minimum requirements. Based off the coach training school you go through, they should adequately prepare you by reviewing this material with you frequently. This is what we do with our students. In our modules and classes, we're consistently talking about the code of ethics and the core competencies and the PCC markers and how to apply those when you're coaching so you really understand that material. Another really great book that I love, and we have our students read this as additional reading material, is the Powerhouse Guide to ACC, PCC, and MCC Coaching. The author of this, Jennifer Powers, I went through her level 3 program to qualify for my MCC. And she does a really great job at explaining the code of ethics, core competencies, and then understanding the differences between each of these credentials. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't read this book yet, get it off Amazon. If you enroll in the Born to Coach Training Academy, you're going to be reading this book anyways. So yeah, this is a good one. The next thing is the ICF really likes their action verbs. So when you're going through and you're reading the exam questions, you are going to want to pay attention to the action verbs that the ICF is using. The best verbs that you want to look out for are words like partner, ask, acknowledge, support. Some of the worst verbs are tell, advise, praise. What I would recommend doing is go over to the minimum skills requirement. They have this document on the ICF website, and just read through all the different action verbs and you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take you there right now and show you. I am on the International Coaching Federation website right now, and I pulled up the MCC minimum skills requirements. Even if you're not going for your MCC, this is a good idea to take a look at this document and again, just kind of see the action verbs that the ICF likes to use. So you can see things here like engages the client as an equal partner, exhibits genuine curiosity, provides space for the client to fully express themselves. The coach acknowledges, does not invite. They really like the words invite. Let's see what else we have here. Coach responds, coach remains curious. Yeah, so you're not ever going to see the ICF use language like tell, advise, or praise. Next is you want to approach each scenario in a partnership. Partnership is really big with the ICF, and this is what we're doing with our clients. We are partnering with them. In the exam, there's two different exams. There's a different one to go for your ACC, and then if you want to go for your PCC, MCC, it's the same one. And if you're going for the PCC and MCC, you are going to get different scenarios, and then you're going to have to choose the best answer and the worst answer. So when you're looking at the best answer, you're going to say, what would be the best way to partner with my client in this situation? And then when you're looking at the worst answer, what would be the worst way to partner with my client in this situation? So some coaches have said to go through and read the 4 answers first and then go back and read the scenario. I tried that a couple times. It did not work for me, but some coaches swear by that have passed the exam. So that might be something you want to try or not. I don't know. Also, you have the option where you can flag tough questions. And that was really helpful for me because what you don't want to happen, this is what happened to me the first time when I didn't pass, was I was getting really stuck on something and I was scared to move forward to the next question and I was running out of time. And so a good strategy that I learned the second time that I use is if you start reading in it and you're like, oh, I'm just not getting this or understanding this, mark it, try your best to answer in that moment, and then know that you can come back and answer it. The only thing is you do get a 10-minute break at the halfway point. And then once you finish the first section, you have to be done with the answers. You can't like finish the entire test and then go back. So just so you guys know that you're going to have the first section, you're going to get a 10-minute break and then do the second section. And you can't, once you move on to the second section, you can't go back to the first section. There's ICF exam prep courses out there. I've had a couple of students take Lissa DeHart's ICF exam course. She used to be the ICF president for Washington State, and she really knows her stuff. She's put a lot of time and hard work and effort into her exam prep course, and there's a live component too where you can go and be in a group and ask questions. So if you're looking for more support in that way, I would highly recommend to check out her course, and I will put her link below the video. You can also form a study group too with your peers. I know some of our students have done that, kind of like back in the day when you're in high school and college. Maybe for some of you, you've been out of school for a while. I know I have. But you used to do study groups. So you can do the same here to prep for the course. This is a really important one. I did not do this the first time, but I did this the second time, is visualize yourself passing the exam. So visualization is really important for our brain. Our brain doesn't know what's real and what's fake. And so what you can do is like 5 minutes every morning, sit down, close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and see yourself confidently sitting down for the exam and quickly answering each question. And then at the end of the exam, seeing that pass score pop up on your screen and see yourself celebrating and know that you are already an ACC or PCC or MCC level coach going into this exam. And this is just the last and final step. So that was something I did often, was visualizing that. And that really helped increase my confidence levels, knowing that I could pass this exam. You want to create the ideal test environment. The first time I took the exam, I did it at a Proctor View testing center. I work from home all day, every day, and I was afraid that I might get distracted taking the test from home. So I tried it out at the testing center. I did not like the testing center. I didn't like all the noises around me, the people, the energy in the room, the fluorescent lighting, um, the smells, like, it just was like a really sensory overload experience for me, and I felt really distracted. So the second time, I decided to take the test from home on my computer. It's still proctored, you're being watched, but you don't see the person who's watching you. So I know that might feel a little weird and creepy, but, the first couple questions, it was kind of weird to me, but then I quickly forgot that I was being watched and then I was more focused on passing the exam. But I loved that I could be in my cozy home environment. I was wearing my fuzzy slippers and I was in my bedroom. So it was nice and quiet. There was no one else around. And then on the 10-minute break, which I highly recommend you guys take, we'll talk about that more in a moment, that I got to go outside for a couple minutes and get that fresh air and that oxygen, that sunlight. And I was just so much more focused and refreshed when I came back to the second part of the test. Whereas when I was at the testing center, you can't leave the testing building. And so, yeah, you just have like a lot more freedom and flexibility and control of your environment when you do it from home. You can seek accommodations if needed. So, if English is not your first language, they have a lot of other options for you to take the test in the language that would work best for you. And then if you have anything else that would require you to need accommodations, like maybe if you're neurodiverse, you do need to have a doctor's note that you can upload, that's saying that you need accommodations, and sometimes you can get an extra hour for the exam. And so I think if you have the opportunity to use the extra accommodations, definitely take advantage of that to just help prepare you for this experience and make it as easy as yourself on possible. Please, please, please take your break. I don't know how people would not take their break. Taking a break, especially like I said, if you can get outside, what this is going to do is it's going to really help to replenish your mental energy, help you to refocus. Decision fatigue is a real thing, especially with this exam, with there being 78 situational based questions. So that break is going to really help to recharge your mind. And this is a 3-hour exam, and it's been years since I had to sit down and take an exam. So that break really helped me to get through that second half of the test. So I would, yeah, highly recommend taking that break. And then my last thing is to remember that there's going to be a lot of different scenarios in this exam that you may not be comfortable or familiar with. Like for me, I've never worked in the corporate coaching environment, and there are a lot of corporate examples and things with like leadership and team coaching. And the first time I took the exam, that kind of overwhelmed me a little bit and scared me. And my brain was like, oh my gosh, I've never coached someone in this type of situation before. And what I realized is it doesn't matter what the situation is or environment, is that when you're coaching a human, you're coaching a person, a human in front of you that has wants, needs, desires, feelings, emotions. And if you remember it and see it as that way, I know you're not seeing like an actual person in front of you, you're reading a scenario, but if you want to imagine that you're in the situation and you're seeing like a real human in front of you, just approach it in that way and then kind of take out all the external details that don't really matter. That's what really helped me in those situations where I was like, I have no idea how this corporate executive system world might work. Okay, so let's just go ahead and quickly review everything that we talked about today that's going to really help you to pass the ICF exam. So remember that you want to review key material. So when you go through your ICF Accredited Coach Training Program, you want to study and learn the ICF Code of Ethics, the core competencies, minimum skills requirements, and then if you can, read the Powerhouse Guide to ACC, PCC, and MCC coaching. Focus on the language that ICF uses and the action verbs. Some of the best verbs to look for are partner, ask, acknowledge, support. Some of the worst verbs are tell, advise, praise. To approach each question and scenario as a partner. So what is the best way to partner with your client in this situation, and what's the worst way to partner with them? You want to avoid assumptions. Don't add extra details or assumptions when reading scenarios. And then remember that sometimes you might approach this in a different way if you were coaching this client, and that's okay, but the options may not reflect what you would do as a coach. Take the time to really slow down and understand each scenario. Some people have even said it's helpful to try reading the answers first before reading the question. You can flag tough questions and then go back to them later. You can check out different ICF exam prep courses that are available, especially one like Lissa DeHart's. You can always form study groups with your peers. I recommend visualizing yourself passing the exam. So see yourself already as an ACC, PCC, or MCC level coach, and just know that this is the final step to earning your credential. You want to create the most ideal exam environment for yourself where you're going to be calm and comfortable and relaxed. Seek accommodations if needed. So if you're a non-native English speaker or if you're neurodiverse and need extra accommodations, you can definitely ask for that when you're applying for the exam. Make sure to use your 10-minute break so that way you can replenish your mental energy and prevent burnout and decision fatigue. And then remember that even if you're unfamiliar with some of the scenarios like corporate coaching, like I was, that coaching is about humans and partnerships, and just approach all questions with that mindset. All right, guys, I hope that you found this helpful. I am so excited for you to pass that exam. And if you have not enrolled in an ICF Accredited Coach Training Program yet, I would love for you to consider joining ours, the Born to Coach Training Academy. We work really hard to prepare our students to pass the exam. We have mock quiz questions at the end of every module. And then we have a module in semester 2 that gives you so many different great resources to preparing and getting ready for the exam. And then just throughout the entire program, we are preparing you and getting you ready to pass this exam. So you can get more information about our Born to Coach Training Academy below the video. Or if you're already enrolled in an ICF accredited program, but it's not a level 1 or level 2, level 3, and you need those 10 ICF mentor hours, we also can provide you with those as well too. So just go ahead and check out our website, borntocoach.org, and you'll see all our programs there. We're really committed to helping you to confidently prepare and pass this exam. So that way you just have so many more opportunities available for you as a professional coach. All right, guys, make sure to like our videos, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe, and I will see you in our next video. Bye. What was life like? What was like your professional life and your personal life like before finding the Born to Coach Training Academy, and kind of what were you like struggling with the most?
I was at a point where I progressed in my career and I had a job where I was getting paid really well, had really good benefits, and just like progressing, in that way that you always think you should from the 9 to 5 job. And when I got it, I was so disappointed to realize how bored I was. It was just really unfulfilling. I felt really lonely because I was like a team of one and a lot of people worked remotely. So I really was looking for community and finding more passion or just purpose in my life, I guess you could say. And when I was looking at Born to Coach, it was just at a really good time where I was in my career. It was really slow, and I just had time to actually explore other options and do my own professional development on the side. When I got to that point, I got really excited because I had something to look forward to and people to look forward to seeing every week. And that was really rewarding and exciting because I didn't have that at the time. And I really truly believe that the universe sets all this up. I just kind of took a leap of faith because I didn't know anything about coaching. I've never been coached before. So I just dove in and said, I'm just going to try this. And it was really rewarding. I'm so glad I did it. It wasn't even a hard decision. It was one of those things where I just kind of saw it and said, I want to do that. That's perfect. I want to pair it with some of the other things I'm like astrology and things I'm doing on the side. And it just all worked out really, really well.
And then what was your turning point in the program where you felt like you had like your biggest aha moment?
I remember after I went through that first observed call and I thought I did a really good job. And that was like my first observed call, trying to go through all the PCC credentials. And then when I got through there and Melinda's like, wow, I can't believe that this is your first time doing all that coaching before. I just realized I'm like, oh my God, I can do this. It was kind of, all those pieces of like, I don't know what I'm doing. So many like things to remember. And I'm like, I just kind of went with it and it went really well. And I helped the client who I was on the call with. And it was just really rewarding to see that I could do this. And me taking the leap to do coaching wasn't, I guess I should say, like a waste. It paid off. And I knew that the universe was pushing me in this direction because I meant to go this direction.
Cool. And so now that you are graduating, what has changed the most for you in terms of your coaching and your professional life and your personal life?
And I think I've gained a lot more confidence in my own skills, specifically like speaking. Not that we're doing a ton of public speaking here, but just more confidence in just doing my own thing and talking in front of groups and having more confidence being the professional as a coach. I think it's a little intimidating because I'm so new to coaching. And you feel like when people come to you with coaching topics, you should know everything or know what they're talking about. But coaching has really taught me that you don't have to be the professional, the client's professional, and you're just there to listen and observe. So even that little tidbit just makes you feel like 100 times bigger because you're like, I don't need to know all this stuff. I don't know anything about, engineering, or I don't know anything about divorce or any of that stuff, but we're all human and I think we all can empathize and relate in different ways. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of the time what the clients want to hear. So just with that, it makes me feel like I am a professional in my own sense, even though I'm coaching people who completely different backgrounds, completely different stories, but we can all like help each other in this roundabout way.